All right, so now let's look at some of the harmonic considerations of the double harmonic major scale. And we'll take a look at all the harmony that this scale might imply. If you haven't done so already, definitely watch the other part of this video, or else you'll have no idea how we got to this. So if you've been following us for some time, you probably already understand that we at mDecks like to look at things from a slightly different perspective. And this can be a little taxing on the brain because it introduces these new ideas and concepts that we're not familiar with. Today's video is a lot more of that, so it is not for the faint of heart. Warning, any physical, emotional, or psychological damage caused by this video or implementing the double harmonic major scale, as well as the implied harmony therewithin, is not the fault or liability of mDecks Music LLC or any of its employees. Viewing of this video and the attempted learning of the included musical theory content is not advised for any human or related species. The viewer assumes any and all responsibility for any deleterious effects that may result as a result of viewing the instructional video. Enjoy! So the first step in getting to the song that you guys heard at the beginning of the video is answering the question, can I take the double harmonic major scale, this note grouping, and somehow apply it to a traditional way of mapping tonal harmony. So if you're not familiar with how to map tonal harmony or tonal harmony in general, click on the link and then come back to us. So what we're going to do is take the note grouping in the double harmonic major scale and apply it to these three regions of the map. Here it is in a more traditional key of C format. We have our tonic, subdominant, and dominant region, these places of more and less tension, and we're going to take our scale and apply it to this map. All right, so we're going to try to create a map in C double harmonic major. And the first thing we're going to do before doing that is try to see the correlations, if any, that might have with a more traditional, typical map that we have here in the key of C. So here you see the graph of the C major scale superimposed inside of the circle of fifths that relate to each region in the map. Tonic, subdominant, and dominant. Every root of every chord within this key has to be one of these nodes on the circle that represents the graph from which Ionian comes from. You're going to see the double harmonic major graph in a second over there look like that. So the very first thing I'm going to do is try to see what, if anything, our new scale has in common with a more traditional major scale and the diatonic harmony there within. We're going to kind of like map out the roots. This is really important, the roots of the chords that we're going to get later on. So in other words, do I have a C in our new scale? Yes, I do, and it's going to be found at the 12 o'clock region, 12 o'clock node of our tonic region. And I can find all of the similar roots in C double harmonic major that it has in common with C major. So let's keep going. We have a C, we have a G, that's over here. All right, we have an F also over there. That's going to be just like in C Ionian. I have my C down here, my F over here, and my G over there. Let's go C, F, G. So I already have like the makings of a 1, 4, 5, at least in the base, a 1, 4, 5 movement around our map of C double harmonic major, which is a good sign when we're trying to apply this mapping tonal harmony sort of approach to a more unorthodox scale, a scale that you might not necessarily do this with. What else do we have? E. So E is this area right here that sort of straddles the dominant and tonic region. Again, if you don't understand mapping tonal harmony or how this map works, check out the link that we sent you guys earlier in the video. Let's keep going here. We have B. That's something else our current scale has in common with C major. Here's B right there in the dominant region of our map, so that we have C, F, G, B, and E. There are no F sharps or D flats or A flats present in this map. So we already have kind of like a good groundwork from which to build from when we are trying to relate our new scale and mapping it within Mapping Tonal Harmony and our old scale. Now let's see what kind of harmony we get based on using these notes as roots and the other notes in the note grouping in the scale to see what we can come up with. So before we look at some of the harmonic implications of C double harmonic major, let's take a brief look at how we get some harmony from a normal C scale, right? So here's our C scale mapped out for us on the staff, and then down here on our piano, all white keys, easy peasy. So the very easiest, the best way, easiest way to get harmony out of these roots, if you will, that we got from our scale is to just stack thirds on top of those roots. So C and then up a third, G. And then I have a nice C major chord on the 1 of our scale. So C would be our 1 chord. Could take it even further if I stack another third on top of that and get some more color out of that chord and get a 1 major 7, right? So there we go, let's do that. So there, I've taken notes in the scale, stacked thirds on top of roots using the scale as a starting point to do that, and I've gotten some of the harmony extrapolated out of that scale, just like that. Let's do it to the F. Let's do it to this 4 chord here. So I have F up a third, A. Remember, only using notes in the scale when I do this. C scale is a good way to kind of do this because you don't have to worry about any flats or sharps. It's a pretty user-friendly scale to kind of wrap your brain around this concept. And there's another third right there, so F, A, C, E. All right, so there's another major 7 scale. So that's my 4 chord. I get a 4 major 7 by doing that same exact technique, stacking thirds on top of thirds. Let's do it one more time to our G. G, up a third, B, up a third, D, up a third, F, natural. All right, so now I have a dominant 7. So we have a 5, 7. So there's 1, 4, 5, there's tonic, subdominant, dominant, using the C scale, and only notes within the scale to construct harmony based on the notes in the scale also being roots of the chords for the key that we're in. So here I have a really nice plagal cadence. If I just go 4 to 1. All right, so there's that boom, boom, that 4-1 movement in the bass. It's really indicative and typical of a plagal cadence. If I go 5 to 1, I get even more tension and release. And this is a really important cadence or really important tendency or trait of tonal harmony, this 5 to 1 movement. So I'm gonna really try to look for that in the C double harmonic major to see if it's there, because that's really gonna help us tie in this idea of tonal harmony to our unorthodox double harmonic major scale. So now let's look at some of the harmonic implications of C double harmonic major. So we're going to construct some of the harmony based on the C double harmonic major scale a little differently than what I just showed you. And let me show you why. So I'll use the strategy